So today I'm going to be talking about a strange deck that I have been brewing ever since I pulled a copy of Spike the Brave and Glorious. It has been through many transformations, but I'll be sharing the most recent revision of the deck list. The deck is built with the main in mind. With a very static way to protect your friends and resources from dismissal, you do not need to run cards like Appaloosa just to protect your friends. So the deck has a couple of main themes, the first being the use of powerful resources which you can protect with your main character, and the second is making use of your discard pile. You'll see the cards I'm talking about when I go through the deck. Starting off, we have the entry friends. Smart Cookie is the most explosive discard matters cards in here, as you can use her to confront out of nowhere. After that, 2 Maud Pie Just a Pebble is a discard enabler as she mills you for 2, and has the potential to be a 4-cost 7 power friend if you don't use up your discard. And the last entry friend is 2 Farm Formare. As resources are such a large part of the deck, this card next to never uncovers no resources, often giving you options between 2 or 3 different cards. For the rest of the friends, we have 1 friend with more than 1 requirement as a playset, and then some colourless friends to go through. Granny Smith, Fit as a Fiddle, is practically immune to all removal except for gain control effects as long as you keep the discard fueled. 2 copies of Flim and Flam help slow down aggro and make you able to set up single face-offs heavily in your favour. The Smooth Scavenger, another 2 of, is a nice counter to all the recursion you see going on nowadays. And the final friend is 2 copies of Copycat Chrissy. She has no major synergy with the deck, she doesn't really help with any specific matchups, but she just does anything you want her to really. My favourite one is copying a Megamare to dismiss theirs, it's just so satisfying. The events are 2 normal orange delay cards, Bailout and Popping Candy. They're both very easy to play, and Bailout even gives you an additional card into your discard pile. The resources in this deck can be split into 2 categories, the power cards and removal. For the power cards, we have Castle of Friendship as our first one. I know other decks have more efficient action token creation, but Mono Orange snaps up at the opportunity to create more action tokens, even if it costs 3 initially. Zap Apples is another card that likes your discard pile being big, as it really rewards you for it. Plus 3 power on a friend at immediate helps win face-offs and confronting problems. Last but not least is Highly Motivated. While definitely being Granny Smith's best friend, you can still play this card on other friends, just be tactical and make sure you can keep them protected with Spike. As a friend big enough to confront anything in your problem deck on its own, is an obvious target. Your removal resources are out of action, a simple no to a friend using their power, and 2 copies of Clipped Wings, because some abilities are just too good to allow to stay around. And luckily for us, both of these stop activated abilities that require you to exhaust a friend, which is a very good thing right now. The last section is the Troublemakers, with 3 playsets. Starlight Glimmer Exposed Inequality is movement more efficient than Orange normally has, Rarity is card draw, something the deck lacks otherwise, and Double Diamond is just big and doesn't have a bonus. Oh, and I love that draw prevention ability, but I think you already knew that. The problem deck is relatively simple. Under Lock and Tree and a Second Chance are both one-ofs that I switch between depending on matchup. A Second Chance is for when I'm expecting aggro, as I really want the extra action token when I don't take first. But when it's control, you really want Under Lock and Tree so that you can play your 2 requirement cards to get Spike flipped early as possible, as it helps you play through their removal. Then Haybale Monster Stack is an easy way of growing your friends to be big enough to confront alone. Applejack's Worst Nightmare makes removal that exhausts, like yours, something you don't mind. Cult of Personality is 5 at most for you to confront, while it could be 7, 8 or even higher for your opponent to confront, which helps you slow down their progress. And finally, Equalist Propaganda, apparently my favourite problem, is good for making bonus 2s pointless. So that's the full list. It's an odd build that I continually change. At this point, I still want to test Brotherly Love and Push Comes to Shove, as they seem like really nice and easy ways of getting cards into discard and giving bonuses. But I didn't want to suggest them for this because I don't actually know if they're any good yet. Now I'm going to go over the strengths and weaknesses of the deck. Its biggest strength is that it's a jack of all trades. If you need to be controlling, it can do that. Aggressive, it can do that. If you need to stall behind a Troublemaker, it can do that. Another one, Monocolor, makes it very easy to play every card. In this deck specifically, there is no card with more than 3 requirement, meaning as soon as Spike is on his flip side, you can play every card in the deck. And the last one is, it's very difficult to stop Granny Smith. If you do anything to get her larger, she is very difficult to stop, and chances are she'll be confronting a problem on her own. And now for some of the weaknesses. Although it does everything, it isn't a master of any of them, meaning it's bad against less interactive decks like Epics and Combo. Its removal is something that your opponent can get rid of as well. Resources are often hated on in main decks at this point, so either they can take out your removal or you are flipping back Spike to protect it. Trashed is the most annoying thing ever because you don't have resource removal yourself. If you have any suggestions for the deck list, feel free to put them in the comments below. I'm very interested to see what suggestions people could possibly have for a deck like this. Anyway, thanks for watching and I'll see you next time.